vijñāte sākṣipuruṣe paramātmani ceśvare nairāśye bandhamokṣe cintā muktaye mama. As I have realized the Supreme Self, who is the witness and the Lord, the Purusha, and have become indifferent to bondage and liberation, I now feel no anxiety for my emancipation. cintā muktaye mama. While we were going through Atma Bodha, in one of the verses where Atman is explained by Shankara as the one who is illumining the entire creation and standing as witness of this entire creation, he taught to few seekers some years before that self as such is not even a witness. A witness means observing and knowing what is happening to the world and its beings. Witness here is to be understood in mystical sense that the self illumines the world and in its presence the creation emerges. Thereafter, self does not intervene with the karma, with the good and bad thing that happens in the world. Self, in fact, is not even aware of how the further process of evolution took place. Witness at that state means just existing. Purusha referred in this verse has to be known as that which is beyond manifest and unmanifest. The Ishvara or the Purusha referred here is the Purushottama, explained in the Bhagavad Gita, not the Purusha in the Kapila's Sankhya Yoga. Self is Lord of this universe in the sense without its active will, still the whole creation is illumined by self. The whole creation exists because it is illumined by self. So it becomes the Rajadiraj, Lord of the universe. Janaka, existing as that glorious self, is surely and certainly beyond bondage and liberation. As long as one gets a glimpse of self in meditation, and that glimpse goes as he opens his eyes, the meditator will be distinguishing between liberation of which he had a glimpse, and bondage in which he exists while in the world after getting up from that glimpse. Bondage here has been explained that any hope, any expectation is a bondage. Here is Janaka, who is completely liberated, and hence there is no time-space interval where he finds himself in bondage. If he was liberated for 23 hours 55 minutes, he could say 5 minutes I am in bondage. If he was liberated for 50 years and then 51st year, he comes down from that state, he can say he was in bondage after 50 years. He has attained that state which is beyond time, space. So, there is no from date and there is no to date and there is no expiry date for this state. Therefore, he is unable to think of either liberation or bondage. Liberation expression is with reference to bondage. Bondage is a painful expression with reference to the absolute freedom state, which is liberation. Once you attain liberation and exist in that transcendental state, then there can be no one within you to say, I am liberated. So, when the liberated expression has gone from you forever, there is no relevance of bondage at all. All the expressions of all the Upanishads, all the Vedanta treatises, leaves you when you reach that state and abide in that state. After coming down from that state, like rishis of the yore wrote about the Swarupa Lakshana of that state, you can say, well, yes, it is pure awareness, it is pure existence, it is pure consciousness, it is infinite, it is pure bliss, etc. And that too, if you have really attained the liberation, you have attained the self-realization. These expositions will not come from you just like that. Any description of that state by a realized master is only for the sake of known and unknown spiritual seekers for generations to come. Otherwise, it will be only pure silence. So Janaka says, in this background, which is self-explanatory, which is very natural, that there is no anxiety now for getting the realization. He has attained realization and he has transcended the awareness that I have attained realization, from where anxiety for realization will come in that state. It is for the sake of seekers who would be undertaking sadhana with the only purpose of realizing self, for them to have an idea about that state with their jaws opened, awestruck. For them, Janaka says, or Ashtavakra Gita says, that there is no anxiety for getting emancipated at that stage. Closing lines of Chinmaya on this verse. This state of infinite space can never be comprehended by us, as the instruments of comprehension that we have at this moment are incapable of conceiving dimensions of the infinite. By a teaspoon can we ever empty an entire ocean? Can limited mind comprehend the unthinkable self and its peace infinite? Unquote. Hari Om Tat Sat.